Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back with the Yamaha Breeze, and in today's video we're going to be reassembling the engine. So in last video, as most of you know, we went ahead and took apart the engine, and that is because all of a sudden when I started it, like I do like on a daily basis just to make sure that the battery won't die, it was running really bad, and I ended up just revving it out, and it like floated a valve and bent the intake valve, and that's a mistake I made from last time. I kept saying it was the exhaust valve, and after reading the comments, you guys were saying that it was the intake valve, and it was, so thank you guys for that. And also, before I begin, I just want to address some of the comments from last video. Some of you guys were saying that, you know, I'm doing a lot of the stuff wrong, and I'm pretty used to it, but I just want to address it. It comes a time in every person that does YouTube's life that they need to address some things. You know, this channel was basically based off of learning from my mistakes and everything, just doing what I can do in my backyard and just fixing the quads and dirt bikes that I have, just learning from myself, and stuff I might do wrong, I'm gonna fix myself and make sure that I don't do it next time. And also the really helpful comments that you guys post down below really does help me a lot. Like just now, I would have ordered an exhaust valve, but it was the intake valve. And that's basically how I've been learning since day one, and just looking back at some of the old videos, I've grown so much, you know, mentally, and just learning about dirt bikes and quads and engines and everything like that. Definitely learning from my mistakes and from you guys has gotten me this far. And once I just make as many mistakes as there is, there's gonna be no more mistakes just from learning from it. So I'm no master technician, but just doing this a couple more times and everything, I should be able to get the flow of everything, and it will become like second nature. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get to work. So right now, I have none of the new parts here because I just ordered them like yesterday, but I do want to go ahead and get ready for when the parts do arrive. So I ended up ordering piston rings for it. In the last video I said I wasn't, but just after thinking about it more and just talking to some people and reading the comments, while the engine is like this, I might as well just do it. So I didn't get a whole new piston because there's really no dings on it at all. It's just dirty, and that's one of the things that we're going to be doing today. I'm just going to clean it up with some WD-40 or something and a shop rag just to see how much I can clean it. And then I also want to go ahead and check the rod to make sure that we didn't damage the bearing or anything when the piston came in contact with the valve. And along with that, I also have the new cylinder and head gasket and everything. And what I actually just noticed, like just now, is that the head gasket right below this was actually double gasketed, which is kind of weird. I'm gonna have to look at a diagram and see if that comes like that from factory. I've never really seen that before. But I ordered a whole gasket kit for this thing, so maybe it'll come with two. We'll just have to see. But last time it was spewing oil out of the bottom of this, so definitely got to get that all sealed up. But I'm pretty sure the cylinder is good to go to come out, since all the bolts and everything from the head are out. This should just be able to slide up. Yep, it should be able to, so let's go ahead and do that now. Alrighty, so here we go. So I'm just going to pull out some of the timing chain guides. Then just going to make sure, pull this out nice and straight, and there we go. Alright, so the cylinder is out, and the piston doesn't look too bad. There's some light like marring and everything on the side, but that's pretty normal. It's honestly way better than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be pretty black and sooty. So I think this should clean up pretty good. The piston's definitely way smaller than I thought it would be. So there's my hand, and there's the piston. So definitely a little bit shocked by that. But if we come over here to the cylinder, this has something that I've never really seen before, and that is an O-ring around the bottom piece of the cylinder walls. I've never seen that ever before on anything I've ever taken apart, so that's definitely new. But the insides of the wall doesn't look too bad, just looks a little bit dirty and everything, so gotta wipe that out, clean that out, then maybe hone it down a little bit. But other than that, I think it's pretty good. I don't see any damage or anything from when the piston came in contact with the valve, so that's good. Alright, so now what I want to do is go ahead and just pop out the piston. So all I need to do for that is take out the two little C-clips, pull out the wrist pin, and then we can inspect it a little bit better and get our hands on it to really clean it up. So the piston is out, and once again, I still don't see any serious damage or anything that will cause this thing not to run good at all. Looks like some pretty normal stuff. So now, let's go ahead and clean this thing up. So guys, I just finished up cleaning up the cylinder walls and the piston. The cylinder walls came out looking real nice. It's probably hard for you guys to see. but they cleaned up really good. So I'm happy how that came out. And along with the bottom, I scraped off all the old gasket material and cleaned up around here and everything. So that's looking good as well. And then the piston, it still looks pretty dirty, but I mean, all the stuff is just like stained on there and I can't get it off. But at least all that carbon and everything is off, so I mean, it's clean to touch and none of it will get on your finger. So that is good with me. But now that that is done, I just want to come over here real quick and check to see if there's any play in the bearing for the rod. So basically what you do to test this is push this all the way up so that it would basically be at top dead center. And you do not want any up and down movement at all. It's okay to have side to side, but up and down is no good. So this thing feels really stiff. I'm not feeling any up and down movement at all. So that is good. So lastly, just for today, until the parts come, I just gotta clean up all the rest of this gasket down here, which will take really quick. I just gotta make sure that none of it falls down into there, so I'm probably just gonna put a rag or something down there. Well, once that's done, we'll be back here in a couple days, and we'll start reassembling this engine. So guys, it is a couple days later, and as you guys can see, we got one of the 3 parts that I ordered, and that is the valves. So luckily those came first. I'm still waiting on the gaskets and the piston rings to come into the mail, but since I got the valves first, I can go ahead and assemble the head, because I don't need the piston rings or the gaskets to do that. Just to keep this all progressively moving, we can take those out of the bag, see how they look, and pop them in. Alrighty, so let's just do a quick little unbagging. Okay, hopefully these are the right ones. Doesn't say which valve is which, but the bigger one is the intake valve. Oh, made in Japan. Oh, okay, it does say it. So here's the exhaust valve, and here's the intake valve. I don't really know how else to explain them, but they look good. It's a valve. But now, let's go ahead and I guess start taking out the old valves and putting in the new ones. I need to go ahead and take off the cover for the exhaust side, and last time you guys probably remember me slamming my hand, so I'm gonna put on a glove this time. Let's make it 2 gloves, why not? Oh! Ah! God! Woo! And I still cut myself. At least it's on video.
Days later.
Alrighty guys, so it is actually a couple days later from the last clip. I think it's like 2 days. If we come right over here, I did not take out the old valves on this set because when I began doing that, I had to go out someplace, but we are back and the new parts just came into the mail, so that means that tonight this engine could be assembled if all the parts are correct and everything goes to plan. And before I do go ahead and start disassembling the head, you know, taking out the valves and stuff, I think I'm gonna have to get like a magnet or something, like a skinny magnet, because inside of the valves, it has these retaining screws that basically keep the valves in place. So they are the little, you know, like clip right in the middle of the valve. And that's what's keeping it held up in there. And I think I'm gonna have to get a magnet or something to pull that out, because I really can't get it with anything that I have. So I'm probably gonna go run to AutoZone real quick, see if they have like those little like stick magnets. Then we could try and get this thing out. And also, before I start recording, you may notice that I have a little mark or something on my lip. That's just a fever sore, because I know I'll probably gonna get questions about it. It's super annoying, but it happens. But anyway, I guess we'll go ahead to AutoZone right now and see what they got for me to be able to take them out. So let's head out there now. If some of you guys remember, this thing used to have a check engine light, but it finally doesn't have one anymore. I used to have it for such a long time, but I finally went ahead and replaced the O2 sensor, and oh, I'm so happy it's gone. That light was so annoying. So guys, I just got back from AutoZone and I got a magnet and a little valve compressor just to see if it'll work. And it is actually probably about 45 minutes later since I came back, and that is because I've been trying to compress this valve, but these are literally one of the tightest valves I've ever felt in my life. And these little valve keeps are such a pain to get out, so I think I'm gonna need a hand with compressing this, because basically I can compress this down as tight as I can, but with two hands. And right when I get rid of my other hand, I can't hold it any longer, and I'm not able to go in there and grab it quick. So I think I'm gonna hold off on that until someone can help me out. But in the meantime, we could go ahead and open up the new packages and everything, and put the piston back on with the new piston rings and everything, get the cylinder on with the new gasket, and then have everything ready for once I'm able to get the old valves out and put in the new ones. So first off, we have the gasket set. So here we have a full engine gasket set. Nothing really exciting about it, but there it is. And then here is the piston rings. Came in a nice, pretty cool box, honestly. And here are our new rings. So I guess we can go ahead and start putting these onto the piston, oil everything up, and then put it back into the engine. The piston is in the cylinder along with the little timing chain guides, and the timing chain is all pulled up and everything. And honestly, that was a huge pain, but it's in. So now that all of this is ready to go, now I just need to go ahead and try and get out these valves. So I'm gonna try that now. I really hope we can get it out. If not, then we're definitely gonna be delayed. Alrighty guys, so after muscling through and everything, we finally got out both of the valves, and here is the exhaust valve, which is the normal one, just the one that had the little nick on the bottom, but we are gonna be replacing this as well. And here is the intake valve, which was the bent one, and you can obviously tell this thing really was hit hard. But I did just take a look at everything inside at the little valve guides, and none of those look bent at all. The valve seals still look pretty good, so pretty happy with that. But now comes the fun part of putting in both of the new valves. So here we have the exhaust, and then I already took the intake out of the bag. So this is definitely going to be fun with these little annoying retainers, but I'm going to catch you guys back once they're both in. Alrighty guys, so a little while later, both of the valves are in. So for anybody doing this, it is going to be impossible to do it just by yourself, because you got to compress it by hand. You know, there could have been an easier way to do it that I didn't know of, but we just did it probably the hardest way possible. But they are both in, and then I just tried like seating them down a little bit, just pushing it up and down, and the little clips did not come out. So that looks perfect. So now what we can go ahead and do is get this thing ready to go up on top of the cylinder. Then we can bolt down everything, you know, run the timing chain all the way up, time it, and then once everything's on and bolted down, I'm probably going to have to go ahead and go back and clearance the valves, because I did mess around with these screws a little bit. I am a little bit nervous that when we first started up, if these clips are going to shoot out. I really hope they don't, because that would probably just grenade the whole entire engine, but only one way we're going to find out. So let's get started on assembling this engine. Alrighty guys, so it is actually the next day from the last little time lapse that you guys watched. And that is because I ended it for the night last night. It started to get pretty late. But I'll just show you guys what I did real quick. So all the main things are pretty much on the engine. Obviously I don't have it bolted down yet. I just kind of have this hand screwed on just to keep everything in place, but it's not enough to really compress the gaskets and make them excrete the glue that they have. But I'm running into a issue of putting on this dang cam around the chain. That is such a headache. Now, I don't know if there's an easier way to do it or if I should take off the head and do it while it's off somehow, but comment down below if you guys know any easy ways to get the chain around that cam, because I cannot pull up that chain pretty much anymore because it still has a lot of tension, even with the tensioner out. So if you guys can help me out with that one, that would be awesome. But unfortunately, I'm going to be needing to end the video here. I really wasn't expecting to make this, engine rebuild into a two-part thing, but I guess you're going to have to wait until part 2. But next part, when we can finish this thing, it should be the first start if everything goes correctly. But I just cannot finish it today and in time for this video, so sadly I'm going to be ending it here. But anyway guys, follow my social medias. They will be on the outro of this video. Instagram and Snapchat I use the most, especially Instagram for little updates and everything, off camera and everything like that. And just more content, I guess, on there. And a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff and everything like that. So definitely go check them out and give them a follow. And also, once again, comment down below if you guys know any easy ways to put on the cam around the chain. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and tell your friends about the channel. And stay tuned for part 2.